Today on Do It Live.
Do you love your pet enough to stuff it after it crosses the Rainbow Bridge?
And it's our travel episode today. Hopefully no one will be crossing the Rainbow Bridge, but we will belly up to the bar to see why bartenders don't like us anymore.
Plus, why you shouldn't wash your hands in an airplane.
And how's this for an in-flight perk? We are giving away another KTLA 5 Morning News mug, but you gotta stay tuned for the code word when we reach our final destination.
We have reached our cruising altitude. The show's called Do It Live and it starts right.
Look over there.
It starts right now.
5, 4, 3. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that means to play us out. I can't read it. There's no words on it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. I can't all write it. We'll do it live. Do it live.
From an otherwise unremarkable location here in Los Angeles, this is Do It Live. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. I'm Andy Reesmeyer. You can find me on the internet at AndyKTLA.
And I'm Samantha Cortese. You can find me on the internet at KTLA Sam on Instagram. Hello, Bobby.
Hey, I'm still waiting on that ginger ale. I'm Bobby Gonzalez. You can find me on Instagram at Sounds Like Bobby. And to my right,
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining our show. I'm Robert Puente at JustRob101. How's it going? You look amazing. You look beautiful. Thank you for being here with us today. We're having a great time, aren't we, guys?
They
I'm
all
happy to
look
be
so
here with
good.
you.
Yeah.
Dressed appropriately for a flight. No one here is barefoot or in their sweatpants.
No, I got some slip-ons and everyone's making fun of me because
they're great.
I'm
They're
like
great
a
for you.
frat brother in
90 seconds into the show and the
There's
Sperry's
already a
are out.
foot. Yeah.
To be fair, those are probably perfect travel shoes, right? Because they come right off.
Yeah.
They have those hush puppies out in the hallway for everyone to see, right? Yeah.
That's right. I mean, we are talking about travel and travel nightmare stories. This kind of was inspired because you're going to be going out of town pretty soon.
Yes. I'll be going on a trip. And as I was looking at my flight information and checking in, I was provided with this opportunity to give the airline some money out of my own free will, contribute to the emission of future flights,
Right. Not even your own flight.
not even my own flight. The particular airline said within 12 months, our contribution will be used to buy gas that is more eco-friendly for only $71 per ticket. Or if I wanted to contribute more, they of course gave us the opportunity to do that.
Well,
so
there's one of those that allows you to pay them $710 for a future flight.
yeah, Rob, do you still have that video by
This
any
is
chance?
wild.
It says I could contribute 800. Oh wait, no, I can't really see because
It's at the bottom of it. It's at the bottom of the clip.
bummer.
It says you will get 63 XP, like you're playing life as a video game,
Uh-huh.
or you could contribute 125,600 miles or $710 for just that one flight in order to allow them to use low cost aviation fuel for a future flight.
a donation of a mere $700.
The gall, the
Not
nerve.
to mock reducing carbon emissions by any chance, but what economy do you think we're living in where I can just donate?
Yeah.
After spending thousands of dollars to travel, no chance.
Who's doing that?
Just to play devil's advocate for 1 second. Isn't this the equivalent of saying, hey, we're charging an extra 4% a service fee just because of
California healthy fee or whatever.
Yeah, just like stuff that has no bearing on
Bearing,
bearing on me. Yeah,
And your
it's
user
just something
experience,
completely irrelevant to my experience. Like I'm still going to tip you based on the service, but now I'm being charged an extra 4% just because California has wages that far exceed the rest of the country.
That they
or
don't want to
whatnot.
weave into the pay or anything.
Yeah,
What I think is
exactly.
wild about this is that they're just like allowing you the opportunity.
Oh,
Be like,
thank
hey,
you.
would you like to spend $700 extra dollars?
Did you?
Yeah,
did you,
God only knows where it's actually going to go.
did you say yes? You did it.
Yeah, you did it right.
Yeah.
So that is where we sort of started this
Bob?
off.
yeah.
We're asking people to call in.
No, you
and-
just said like, who's this for? I think it is for like top 1% that don't want to feel guilty about their
Traveling.
carbon footprint when they fly.
Who is that rich and is not flying private? You know, at that point,
Hey,
it's just that's such a small.
Some
window.
Europeans, I guess. I don't
guess
know.
so,
This is like very. I think it's more. We're coming at this from like an American perspective, but this is like these European.
That's true.
Airlines are
is
like
that
more.
It's not United or
intense
Delta,
about
right?
this, right?
No, it's a European airline. You're right.
Yeah.
And I think it is about the airline patting themselves on the back. Like, look, see,
Yeah, there's.
We're
we
giving
need your
pe-
help
surely
to
some
be
of that.
better.
And we're also giving people the opportunity to
Yes.
contribute to this, good cause.
So this prompted our call today, 818-860-0998, to tell us about your worst travel experience, any tips you might have for traveling. We are going to check the phone lines throughout the show.
Well, one thing I want to point out, though, is
Yes.
one thing that's changed about traveling. It's never happened in my lifetime, but at one point, traveling used to be like a big thing. Like you would go with a suit and tie, you'd go in nice shoes,
Yes.
you'd be dressed to the nines. Today, you go in sweatpants, you try to dress as comfortably as possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy. We used to wear suits and ties to work, and now all of a sudden we're wearing Sailor Moon belly shirts.
Exactly.
The same thought. Like Robert, if people were still wearing
Yeah.
suits and ties on airplanes,
Right.
he would still show up
Yeah.
dressed like a Janet Jackson backup
Can you show
dancer.
off the full fit here? I mean, I don't want to lose all of the audience immediately, but can you just?
How am I supposed to do that, friend, without dropping the camera in here?
I think you should. Can you ease up a little bit? Can you?
I could go stand behind you for
Can
a
you just
second.
raise from where you are to
Just
show
stand up from
the
here?
world what's going on here
This
with this?
is also what Robert wore to Disneyland.
Oh my god!
There you go. There you
This
go.
is also not what he showed up in because he also had
Oh, that's
like
right.
a tactical vest on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember.
He was,
Oh, you
he
mean
was
this
dressed
one
more
here?
appropriately.
You're gonna see that in next week's episode, okay? Next
All
week's
right.
episode.
All right.
Yeah.
He couldn't take that through the metal detectors.
No.
He was randomly selected when he had
And
that
there
on.
there
so
are items in here. There
Right.
are things in here.
Yeah, this is something that I like. It is a choice to wear that.
It is a Stone Island Supreme
For sure,
collab.
I feel like you
so-
should be the last one to speak. It's a choice to wear boat shoes when you're not on a boat. So
Hey, buddy, I'm on a boat up here all the time. All right.
no longer the travel show. This is just a roast everyone's entire show.
Bobby looks great. Bobby always looks great.
You look really good. You look good.
No.
Hey, but our first story is still about travel because all of us can commiserate over Los Angeles International.
Eric Garcetti doesn't even welcome you anymore when you get there.
I know.
What a bummer.
Oh,
What are we going
like,
there
the
for?
voice
Go to
of Home
Ontario.
Depot.
Hey, turn around. Just go to Ontario.
He hacked into the system, just overrid Karen Bass. Don't come here. Go ahead.
I haven't.
Turn
I guess I
around.
haven't flown since she's been the mayor. Or I guess I
That's
have. I don't
true.
remember. I guess I have. I don't know. I don't remember her being on the PA announcement. Is she
Yeah,
on?
that's a
She's
good
on
point.
it now.
I don't know. I'll have to pay attention. But LAX has the not so esteemed distinction of being the worst airport for international summer travel. That's according to the travel blog Upgraded Points. They analyze data from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. LAX has the longest average immigration line wait time at 32 minutes. 13% of travelers were delayed for more than an hour. And the airport with the shortest wait time is Palm Beach International. So I'm glad collectively there is now data to prove
What we
LAX is the
already have
worst.
always known.
Yep.
LAX is the worst. I feel like 12.8% of people delayed for more than an hour is like crazy
That's
to me.
horrendous.
And that doesn't even include once you get, if you land there, getting an Uber or doing the LA exit
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, it is a truly gauntlet level.
And I do want to add,
hellscape.
really quick, you have rights as a traveler. If you are delayed domestically for 3 hours or more, you are entitled to a rebooking or a
Really?
refund. Not
You have
both.
rights.
You get one or the other. And if you are delayed 6 hours internationally with either your departure or arrival in America, 6 hours, you are entitled to another refund or rebooking, not both. So
Really?
know your rights before you travel. Don't get stuck in an airport like I did and get stuck paying $800 to get home.
Well, sorry about that. What's the battle to do that? Because it can't be that easy. It can't be just like ringing the phone and saying, "Hey, I got messed up here."
There are mosquitoes in here.
Mosquitoes. in
I'm so scared.
It's
You have to go on the website, like the
okay.
government and the
Gotcha.
state and
Okay,
possibly
okay.
the airline and your credit card. It is a
So it's not easy.
Nightmare.
yeah. Okay.
but it can be.
What else is so sad is that I feel like we want to take a moment here for a fallen soldier because it is official now. You have to pay to bring a bag on Southwest. To check a bag after years of them saying we're not going to charge for bags. We're not that kind of airline.
Not even just one bag flies free now.
No, used
They
to be
used to
able to
do
get
two.
and some people were able to get like 4 darn bags up in there. I mean, I would see people moving essentially across the country with the help of Southwest. First time in history, $35 for the first bag, $45 for the second. That's basically on par with the rest of the industry. That happened on Wednesday.
So frustrating.
The 28th of May. And I will say, there's a lot to this story. We've talked about this before. Southwest is one of the only airlines I feel like I can't handle it. It's already so difficult to fly. You're adding so much stress and anxiety. I know some people love it. They love not being, they love getting there early to make sure that they can get that. I'm happy to pay the little extra to get a seat that I know I have a seat. What I'm surprised about that a lot of people aren't covering in this is that this is kind of because of a new change in the leadership at Southwest. There was a somewhat hostile takeover that happened last year where basically one of the board of directors went in and said, look, I want to take over the company. They did a poison pill. He ended up adding like 5, I think, members to the board of directors. And now they're making all of these changes that they said they would never make. And so they basically had this like major corporate turmoil over the past year or so.
So
and
they
you're starting
looked
to see
at
some of the reasons.
money on the table.
Right.
They said, we could be charging for bags. We could be charging for seats.
This is why like we were talking earlier about the green fuel and asking if you would like to donate. At least they give you an option. Now these airlines, they're making you pay money for nothing.
Yeah.
You got to pay to bring your own stuff on the plane.
Yeah.
Southwest could have done 1 bag now because they had 2 bags fly free.
Right.
They could have charged for 1 and we'd all be like, oh, that's a bummer. But like now they're just as expensive as you said, American, and you're just going to fly something else.
But you know what it is? An analyst, and many of them looked at this and said, oh, we can do this. People are still going to book flights. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. They knew that it would be an annoyance for people, but that they still basically were just going to have people
No loyalty.
calling and doing it. I know.
Well, you know what? Here's an alternative to not flying. You could just do what this guy did. You can quit your job, get on a boat, and sail to Hawaii with your cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's them just cheering.
They're just cheering. Yes, that's him arriving in Hawaii.
Oh.
That is 29-year-old Oliver Wedger. He became a bona fide star. He got fed up with his job. He was diagnosed with a disease that could cause paralysis, made him reconsider his life choices. So he quit, bought a boat, and documented his time restoring it, then set sail from West Oregon, teaching himself how to work the boat and putting it on YouTube. 24 days later, he arrived in Hawaii, and while he was the only person on board, he brought millions of followers with him.
Oh. Hey, I do think that there is so much to be said about that one doctor's visit that changes your perspective on things. Because I see this and I go, why aren't we all just getting on a boat and going to Hawaii with our cat? Or, I feel like so many people have these, when they get a diagnosis, their whole life changes in their perspective and how we do things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that conversation of how do you start to live your life that way without having some sort of terminal illness or bad phone call with the doctor, whatever. I mean, I would love to sail.
Like if you were dating a doctor, then you had a bad phone call with them and you were like, I'm going
to Hawaii with my cat.
I bet you will.
Isn't this just like?
I just wish I had the ability to gain perspective without some sort of terrible thing.
Yeah, I feel like someone would just say, just do it, like Nike's slogan, just do it. But like, yeah, if you have a thing that you really want to do, like, why wouldn't you just? Why do you need a terminal?
That's the point, though. It's like
Prognosis.
We should also say this is not terminal.
No.
He doesn't have a terminal.
Fair, yeah, still, but
No.
yeah.
And I think it's what the point is yes, that's part of the story. We've talked about this before where it's like there's a really good angle to this, but people just get stuck in the rut of their day-to-day existence. And it's not like they're like, oh, I'm waiting for a diagnosis for me to get, it says it's a moment where something happens to you. A lot of times I think it happens when you have a family member who passes away or some big life change occurs and you say, okay, I'm checking in. What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? I think a lot of people say, yeah, I'd like to do something different, but going all the way to quit your job, buy a boat, and sail all the way around the world, I think that's a dream that a lot of people have. And you see some people doing it on the internet for sure, but he has really, I think, made it quite, made something for himself because of it.
The answer for a lot of people is travel.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do these things on my bucket list before I can't anymore, or my loved one gets too old or doesn't have the ability to do this with me anymore. So I think travel is the answer to a lot of people's
You
perspective
never
on life.
regret it. I feel like some of the best memories, if you think about back on your life, any trip that you've gone on, you remember it so much. That week, you always remember a lot stronger than maybe the week before or after that.
Yeah.
When you've been home. So let's keep going. There's something very exciting in the air. A little electricity.
Oh,
Can you smell it?
I can smell it.
I hope that's not the wires in the house melting.
I hope not either.
Sorry, Glenn.
Red card for the opposing team for traveling. Get it? It's time for Sam's Big Daily Sports Minute.
Goodness.
I don't even get a red card for traveling. I don't know.
It's a basketball
A
thing.
mix of
I know.
sports. Hey, but if you see the open there, that is Sam's Big Daily Sports Minute. You can abbreviate that however you'd like. in the open, since there's no music, let's see it again, Rob, just real quick. You see all these Samantha doing all these athletic things, and at the very end, it's Justin
Thoreau.
Herbert. Yes.
Nice.
I thought it was
So-
David Justin Thoreau.
Yeah.
Well, good news is we get to look at him again for the first time this season. The Chargers are back on the field. Organized team activities, OTAs, started Tuesday in El Segundo. And for the first time, the Bolts
Nice.
offense and defense face off in drills as they prepare for year 2 with Jim Harbaugh. And you know who we saw? Yeah, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert made an appearance at OTAs. These are voluntary, but it's a great way for offense and defense to start to get the rhythm, get to know each other. Justin got his right knee and leg in a compression sock of sorts.
Wow, you really get into detail on this. Tell us,
Justin Herbert, Lad McConkey, Khalil Mack,
That's not a real
all
name.
back.
Lad McConkey, little lad.
Little Lad McConkey.
I'll tell you this much: I am excited for football season to start.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because
We've been off the air for a long
yeah,
time.
I am. I have a
Well,
I
the
have a newfound
Pacers are
appreciation
playing
for it.
right now.
Yes. Oh, well, because
in
we don't know because
NBA
we're in the
semifinals.
past, you're in the future there. So the Pacers, wow, they did it, or man, they got another chance to do it. So we'll see, but they are doing so well. This
Yeah.
is such a huge deal.
All of a sudden, Andy cares about
I
you.
know.
Well, no,
know.
but this is
Go
how it is.
figure.
We grew up loving the Pacers, Reggie Miller. You know, there was a whole thing, right? And they would always get really close, but they'd never make it.
Yeah.
And now they've got a lot of momentum. They're doing well. And
And we'll
what?
see.
I have to hedge my bets here because I'm not sure what happens.
This is so interesting. I mean, just because my love for Timothy Chalamet, I'm just going all Knicks. Like, you know,
Yeah, well-
I
Yeah.
have so many thoughts on Timothy Chalamet. We don't have time.
we don't have time.
But he is like the new face of like manliness almost for Generation Z because he is all about excellence. Okay, so I guess I am going to do this. He's
I'm
kind
happy
of,
to spend
Bobby,
2 blocks on
no,
this.
you just chuck this at me as hard as you can.
okay, he's kind of twinky, right? He's not like a big, he's not like
stuff in
muscular.
it.
He's not like the face. of
No, but his style. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just getting
paid
knocked
off.
out of
Yeah,
it.
we get it.
His
Yeah.
style is very manly now. It's less. It's not as Yes. We like it very much.
He loves sports. He's all about excellence. He's dating like a voluptuous Kylie Jenner. Like
And
he
he's
is
also bringing back like white boy style of 2000s. Like
it's weird.
It's really
this
cool.
This man is carving his own path.
Should we see ourselves out?
I think so. Yeah.
It's getting a little steamy
know,
in
I was
We're
here.
gonna
talking
say.
about him because
Yeah, I might
he's
need a new
sitting
chair
front
over
row
here.
at the Knicks
He's at the
games.
Knicks,
Right, yeah.
with Ben
and
Stiller.
with like a hot chick, and like he cares about being the best, and he's like, I don't care if you make fun of me. I love this thing called acting, and I'm gonna be the best at it.
Are you guys drinking Haterade over? I
They're
feel like
drinking
you're
Haterade.
No, I
drinking Haterade
didn't
over there,
say
yeah.
anything.
I'm a Pacers fan, and he likes to root for the Knicks. Of course, I have to. But they did come up with this new thing called Yes Sirs, like CERS. It is very odd.
Is
Like
this?
Pacers, Yes Sirs, and the shirts say Yes Sirs, like Yes Sirs in 5. So they want to make it, and it's so annoying.
That's
They did
silly.
it. They came up with it last year, and everyone's like Sirs, Sirs, Sirs. And it's like Sirs.
Sir, we need to take a break.
We do. We've got so much still coming up, including why bartenders hate you, what you're doing now, what we're all doing that is making bartenders hate us. And Robert, you're excited about this story.
I am totally. Why you shouldn't wash your hands in an airplane?
What-
And what kind of airplane what kind of airplane seat would you be willing to sit in?
Okay, this is new for all of us.
You just,
Just adding stories.
great, we just added that. To the
Just
show.
adding a little teaser there.
Okay.
It's a really cool story to be really fast. Don't worry, guys. We will have time for this.
We will be right back.
Glad we had that meeting before the show.
All your calls.
No clue what that story is. It'll be a surprise for all of us.
Wow, I love that.
And a mug. What story?
When you want to stretch your legs, most airlines give you only one place to go. Not Continental. Because we're putting a pub on every wide-bodied flight in the continental U.S. You see, Continental Airlines thinks that people who pay good money for an airline seat deserve a better place to go than a magazine rack.
Synchronisation.
back to Do It Live. Nice to see you today. I'm Andy Reesman. You can find me on the internet at AndyKTLA. Oh, you're clapping. We're doing a little studio
I'm
audience.
excited. Why can't we be happy? We're so excited.
Why can't we be happy? The story of my life.
Oh man.
Come on, Sam. Let it out.
Let it out. Okay, great. Is it billable hours that we're talking about here for Why Can't We Be Happy? My name's Samantha Cortese. You can find me on Instagram at KTLA Sam, and I'm going to shamelessly plug, please follow me because I will be traveling. It inspired a whole travel show, and I'll be uploading, hopefully, my general audience with Pope Leo the 14th. So follow me at KTLA Sam. Super excited about that. And I'm going to send it over to Bobby.
Nice. I can't wait to watch your travel content. It's going to be great. You can follow me at Sounds Like Bobby on Instagram. Not posting any travel stuff for a while, but you can also follow all of us at doitlive.show.
Yeah, heck
on
yeah.
Instagram as well to keep up with the program. And of course, you don't want to miss this next guy's Instagram.
Oh, follow me if you're so inclined. It's just Rob101 on Instagram. Yes, it is. My name is Robert Puente. Thank you for joining our show. Sam, I'm actually kind of excited. So you really are going to post your travel stories?
I think I'm going to post some.
I
Yeah.
remember that time at a moment in life you were like, I don't like posting when I'm traveling because I want to be in the moments and this and that.
Both are true. Both are true.
Yeah,
Here's why. I feel like I'm going to be gone for enough time that I feel like people will think I got fired. So I need to establish on my socials that I am just doing a bucket list trip.
Nice.
I'm actually going with my mom. She's never traveled outside of North America, Mexico, US. So we will be traveling, going to see the new Pope, and that is very, very exciting. So I'll be posting about that.
Is that like a pop band? Or
Yeah, the new Pope. The new Pope.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Just wanted to say that. Also, since you plugged the Instagram, want to mention that every time this airs, premiere air on Saturdays at 11 a.m., we have a group chat going on the Facebook group. So if you search Facebook groups for Do It Live Show, we are all actively chatting as it's airing. A lot of you are sharing your comments. We're reacting. So it's kind of a fun little Discord chat, if you will, on the show as it's airing live for the first time. And if you're watching this in a rerun, you can go back and see what we're all saying about it on the Facebook group.
So we have a viewer call, which I want to get to first.
I thought I was going to show you guys my travel companion first.
Oh, okay. All right, sure.
This is the argument my mom actually got into with the desk at the airport about our support animal.
She's the adult for that. What's your last name? Nó kêu anh bé mà chúc ở trên đường bà phục quay lại này.
Oh my goodness! So you blew my mind this morning, or today. You blew my mind with what? Why are we talking about this, Sam?
This is
even
trending
real?
all over Instagram, on X. It's fake. It is AI.
That's
and it is
unbelievable.
not labeled as AI. And so many people are commenting like, let the poor guy on. Look how well behaved he is. This is ridiculous. He's so cute. Why wouldn't
Holding
you?
his ticket. Like,
At the very least, it's fake. I don't know.
it's AI, dog. I stopped it. There's the tickets all jibber jabber. They're not speaking any words.
Well, they're
Their thumb
definitely
gets all
to be
morphed.
fair-
That's
okay.
to be
It's either
fair,
AI or it's from The Sims. It's one or the other.
When you say that the boarding pass is jibber jabber, it probably could be just German for all you know.
No, it's not. It's not any sort of recognizable
No,
character.
they're not speaking any recognized language. Grok has identified it as AI. People are losing their minds about
Gronkowski?
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ron Gronkowski.
Gronkowski.
Because
Baby
they're
Gronk.
like, what? Let him on. That's not fair. He's so cute. I would love to sit next to a kangaroo on a flight. This is fake. It's
Yeah.
fake AI
Fake outrage created for no one except for clicks. There's so much of this, which I think we were talking about this the other day. If you see something on Twitter now where it's like they'll post a video and then they'll just say, what do you notice about this?
Yeah.
And the answer is
Yeah.
you notice nothing about this, but it makes
They
you
want you
watch
to
it
keep
over
staring,
and over
yeah.
and over to try to think, wait, what am I not seeing? And then people being like, wait, and then they're going to get mad and yell about anything
Do
anyway
you
in the
see
comments.
it?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Wait for
How
it.
long till you
Comment
notice
when
it?
you
Yeah.
notice it.
The
One of my-
last one.
One of my
That's my
favorite new
favorite.
trends right now is people recreating AI videos, but it's real videos, but they'll move a little uncanny.
Yeah.
And they'll like, can you
no.
believe we're in a
We're doing-
prompt?
yeah.
We're in a prompt. And they're trying to create like as if it's AI, but it's actually real. But
We're
they're trying
now-
to, yeah, it's pretty fun.
I hate
The
it.
reverse simulation.
I know. We're like, we're slowly descending into it. But speaking of slowly descending into it,
Our very real phone
we
is
have a
going to
ve-
receive
yeah,
some very real calls.
someone who actually I think was responding to the story about the extra fuel charge.
Oh my God. Can you imagine donating?
Let's
I
listen.
can't get over it.
This is Marshall. Wow, they want me to pay extra for gas? Well, I'm going to Taco Bell, but just before my flight, and I'm bringing my own gas. How do you like those apples?
That's great. That was a great call. I love that call.
More of those. That's
so
good.
funny.
I love
That's
that
very
call.
funny.
He's so proud of himself for that.
We've got somebody here from El Monte calling.
Oh, here, Bob. Hold on real quick. Bob.
Here, sure.
Try to get that. Okay.
I predict this
Hi,
is going to be
this
from
is
El
G-
Monte.
G from El Monte.
Gigi.
I don't think I've ever experienced a terrible vacation,
Nice.
but I do know a lot of people who have had bad experiences because they wait to the last second to book things, assuming they're going to get a better deal when then they don't even have anything left for them. But I know I'm going on vacation in July on a cruise, and it's been booked for over a year.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm good.
Yeah, you got it.
Bye.
Bye. Enjoy
I'm,
that cruise.
one of those people. I book like a week before.
You deal or no deal it.
Yeah.
You thrive
That's what it
on my
reminds me
flight
of.
this,
I do,
though.
yeah, I
Everything
do.
is last minute with
I
you.
like
Absolutely.
it. That's good. All right, we got one more call here that I want to get to, but it's long, so maybe we'll wait until the next block. It's a minute long, so I think we'll wait.
We all, for this show, have our own little get ready with me routine. And it involves powder.
With you? We get ready
and
with you.
we all do get ready together sometimes. And the way these men have seen me in my natural state is so embarrassing. I think Hot Rollers made their appearance last week getting ready for the show. All that to say, now it's extended to planes. People are filming their get ready with me on an airplane. And it's to the point where we have to ask, if you're sitting next to somebody who's filming, what are your thoughts on it? Do you care?
No.
Do you actually get tips from these kinds of people?
Oh.
One woman said that she did this for 4 hours.
Oh my God.
She
Drunk
filmed the
elephant.
content
Filmed
for 4
herself
hours?
for 4 hours doing her makeup routine on an airplane. And
If
she had a little light there. Can you imagine
heck
trying to
no.
sleep next to
Those
someone
are
who was
$9
like
to $10 per sanitizer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they're not bothering me, I'm not gonna care. But if that little ring light's keeping me up from my 8 hours sleep,
Ooh, I'd
then
be so
no
pissed.
way.
ugh.
Maybe they are like buying the seats next to them so that they don't have anybody in the way. Because like they all look like they're like sitting next to no one.
That is true. Oh, maybe
Or this is like before. Or they
there
stay
are
on
places.
after.
I don't know if you've seen these speaking of
Oh,
fake
yeah.
videos where they rent
The,
out
the fake studios.
fake studios of
plane
airplanes so that
inside.
they can create viral content. And
Yes.
a lot of times it's people yelling at each other
Fascinating.
Yes.
and being mad. And so maybe some of these are fake. And you can't believe anything anymore.
Yeah.
Can't believe
No,
anything.
but
Yes.
do you have any good tips? I think hydrating, like putting on a real thick moisturizer, drinking lots of water, because you lose so much water on a flight.
Yeah, I'd go straight to the Rock and Brews at the airport.
Terminal
and I'd drink
1A.
like two giant things of beer.
Heck yeah.
And then I'm
That
asleep.
hydrate you all the way to Prague.
Sir,
We've
sir,
said
this
this-
flight is only an hour. You're going to San Francisco.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
give me another round.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've discussed this all before. Plain flight drinks or flight drinks, airport drinks don't
Doesn't
count.
count.
Yeah.
It could
Whatever
be
you're
7
drinking
in
at
the
airport,
morning.
yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
count. Time, calories.
Unless you're a pilot, and then I would ask, don't.
Hey, but when you order that airport beer, there's apparently some thing you're not supposed to do.
Okay, so here's the scene. All right.
All right.
Tell me if this is something that you do. You sit down. The bartender says, "Hey, what are you having?"
at any bar,
Or-
not just airport bar.
No, any bar. You say,
All right.
"Hey, how you doing?"
Hey, great.
Hey, you would
thanks.
respond, "Hey, great, thanks."
Yeah.
Now, if you had said, what would you just?
Vodka, soda, lime, thanks.
That is very rude, according to bartenders, and they will be upset with you. And God only knows what they might do.
Not because of the order, but because it's just a rude way to behave as a human.
The moment when you sit down, and if they don't directly ask you for your drink, and they say, "Hey, how are you today?" If you don't respond with a "Hey," and you get right into your order, they think, "What's going on with this guy? There's something wrong with him." So they say, and they say that maybe, it'll raise a red flag and make them worry that something's wrong with you, or you're drunk, or something is. No one would ever be drunk in a bar, obviously, but
No.
I'm sorry. I'm not following here. How is this news? Are we teaching people how to be human?
wow,
Is
God,
that-
you just became our comment
Facebook
section. on
comment
Facebook.
section.
Yeah.
How is this?
They
Wow.
say that you should. They say that you should not. You should be thoughtful of this because You obviously don't want to.
You should be thoughtful on all accounts for human
I'm
beings
kind of
whenever
with
you're
Robert.
interacting with another person.
Well,
really, that's what I'm
the
concerned
Was
reason
about.
this a survey of thousands of bartenders? Was this?
I believe it was Punch.com that spoke to 5 bartenders, and one of them told them this, and that's how it became a viral piece.
The
of
only way
content.
I'm going to treat someone like that is if I'm sitting in a chair like this. If I'm sitting in a chair like this, basically standing, I'm sorry, it's not a full screen right there.
We understand.
That's the only way I'm gonna be like rude enough to treat you not kindly because
You
I'm
love
standing.
this. No, I looked at this and I
is
thought
from
of
the-
you.
This is from the Skyrider 2.0. We actually talked about this from our show many years ago.
Yes. Wow.
It's actually just launching.
Right. Then it was a concept.
Yes. Then it was a concept. Now it's actually happening. This is going to be designed for 2 hours, 2-hour flights where you're mostly standing for most of that flight.
So your weight is resting.
Your weight is resting. And so I would imagine you're not happy for a good chunk of that flight. So if someone comes up to you and asks you, what do you want for your drink? I might be a little rude right there in that situation.
Oh,
so I
you
apologize
would.
for that.
You
Okay.
bought the ticket.
Yeah.
You bought this flight.
I understand that.
Why? You have no right to be mad about the way that they seat you when you paid for that seat.
This is
And
true.
it's meant to be budget. It's meant to be economy.
No.
Yeah. So
It does seem unsafe, because like if you're not, you gotta
It's like a roller
strap you
coaster.
in
It
like
looks like
this.
one of those roller coasters.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
dangle your
like
feet
dangle,
above.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of my thought when I said your weight is resting. Like, you're not sitting, right?
No, you're
so
not.
what's with the
You're
You're
little?
kind of
lean.
like squatting,
Doing a
like
lean.
kind of
Like a
it's
little-
like one of the roller coasters.
Yeah,
when
but
you-
then
when you
you
sit
can
down-
like lean
Yeah.
into the thing.
It also doesn't
you
even
know?
seem like they're saving
Here, you're
that
just like-
much space.
No.
I don't know. I'll believe it when we see it. So,
But you're standing for a lot longer at Disneyland. That's all I have to say.
That's
so,
fair. That's fair.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, Robert has some ideas on where you should not be washing your hands, or why you should not be washing your hands, rather.
Okay.
And we'll take more of your phone calls. We're giving away a mug, and we so appreciate you following us on Instagram, doitlive.show.
and a chat GPT that won't turn off in this show or maybe the next one next
Hey, it's
week.
a deep tease. It's a deep tease.
We'll be right back right after this.
Put a piano in a room full of strangers, and something nice happens. American Airlines did just that. In the coach lounge of all their 747 luxury lines. So why start your vacation with strangers? Only one airline has the piano bar. Chet Huntley for American Airlines.
Don't want the whole plane to know it's your first day. Buckle your seatbelt now. More coffee. Champagne.
I think we have.
Second.
Oh.
Hi, Andy. Long-time caller, first-time listener. On my honeymoon, I went to Bali with my now wife, and we invited ourselves to a family dinner at a hotel with a nice Balinese family, and they fed us the spiciest food I've ever eaten in my life. I don't even do well with medium spicy Mexican food, and so I woke up the next day feeling some sort of way, and found out my wife had booked a scuba diving trip for us on a boat that did not have a bathroom. And pretty much the moment I stepped on that boat, my stomach turned in that oh no, we're going to have problems sort of way. And so I ran up to the captain and I said, hey, what do I do if I'm going to be sick? And he said, oh, throw up over the side. And I said, what if it's not throw up? And he just laughed at me and was like, you got to swim into the water. So I had to sit there full, just sweating bullets until we got to our first diving spot. And then everyone watched as I jumped off the opposite side of the boat and swam as far away as I could to relieve myself. And it was pretty horrific being watched while I pooed in the ocean. But, oh man.
Wow.
Sweet relief. All right, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Sorry to hear about that. Hope your marriage is going well.
I know.
Oh man, I thought that was going into the wetsuit. That's
This is
all
why
I thought.
sharks hate us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or love us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, gross. Well, I could not have expected.
Nope, didn't know where that was going.
Anything better than that. That is a true travel nightmare.
I think we need to fire
For
whoever
sure.
screens our calls because that probably should have got screened a little better.
You don't think that worked? That was PG.
Hey, we want to get to this story. Our photojournalist Phil Ige shared this very local way that people who lose a pet can find closure. And we thought this was very apropos of our show because it's a local guy. He's in the industry, as they say. He's a Hollywood prop maker, and he's using his services to help those who've lost a pet remember them and preserve that very special relationship.
Well, I mean, I think they're just like us. They're just beautiful. They're so different, and they're all so unique in their own way, and people fall in love with them. I am the co-owner. My name's Ace. I co-own Bischoff's. We've been around since 1922. Most of our work is television film for scenes where they need a silicone snake, they need a horse that needs to move, animatronics or anything of that sort. Of course, large animals like this buffalo, this one was for the Lone Ranger. The request for it is so overwhelming, which is a good thing. So the new clients are pet clients. So we've been doing a lot of pets. Just because we do everything from full preservation, sometimes they just want aquamation, which is just ashes and urns. Whatever they need, pretty much we provide. So this next room is a little bit of everything. So this is our aquamation machine on that side. These are chambers. So these chambers are freeze-dry chambers. What they do is they carry a low temperature, and then there's a vacuum chamber where it removes all that moisture, and that's what gives you the end result. This little chamber goes to about -70. The artistry is done before they go in here, and this is the final step. Once the pet arrives here, then we discuss with the client what they want to do. That's where it differentiates from the studio side to the pet side. The studio side, you can make something amazing, and the producers are going to like it regardless. The pet side, you got to make sure that you encapsulate exactly that pet's personality and the look. Everything about that pet's got to be just perfect. Some people bawl the second they walk in, and then other people are super excited. They're just ecstatic to just walk in and see their pet again. And we're grateful that they trust us with their pet, to be quite honest. For somebody to walk in, be like, here, this is my life for 13, 14 years, and then have us immortalize their pet in a respectful manner for all time.
Wow, I mean, Sam, I didn't mean to.
No, it really touched her. It moved you in such a way.
I mean, kudos to that guy for having a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might.
Oh my gosh, if they did that to cannoli, I would die. Oh my gosh.
So I take it that's a no from you.
I would never do that. Oh my gosh. Looking at their face every day like that.
I am so happy you didn't watch that before we put it on the show.
I prefaced
Oh my gosh.
that it might be jarring to, and I was like, no, we'll just do it. We'll watch it on the show. We're interested. Well,
oh my god, I cannot believe that.
Wow.
Are you guys serious? That's
I'm speechless.
It's the man's job, so kudos to him and
his
his company
and stuff.
incredible.
But like for people that want that sort of a service, that's
Oh
a
my
great service to
gosh.
have.
But yes, I'm in the same boat as you, Sam. It's a little hard to give a body and your love there.
I did not think I would get so emotional thinking about cannoli while he's sitting there freeze drying the taxidermied and for a movie prop. That's one thing and like really cool, very realistic. And then I'm like looking at these people's actual pets in there. I'm so emotional.
Well, we should grab you a tissue
I
and
gotta
take a
go.
quick break. When we come back,
Also, wait, is that the guy whose wife runs that wine shop in Toluca Lake? Remember her husband's a taxidermist? Anyway, I think they have a wine shop in Toluca Lake. You guys should go check it out.
Or not. Maybe it's not them.
It might
Maybe
not be
if
that
it's-
guy.
I don't think there are a ton of movie prop taxidermists in Toluca Lake or Burbank.
That's
Maybe
fair,
it's
yeah.
not. I
If
think
it's
that's
anywhere-
the same guy.
hey, sound off in the comments
Yeah.
if you're a movie prop
I have to go get a
taxidermist.
tissue.
All right.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we'll be right back. When we come back, why you shouldn't wash your hands on airplanes, and we're giving away a mug. Stay tuned. Code word is almost up.
You don't want to miss it. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys.
Hello? Oh, hi, Cannoli. Oh, you were watching? Oh, I'm so sorry. No, she's never gonna. No, don't even think about it. We'll talk to you later.
Stop.
I'm so sorry.
God, we didn't address that. We didn't plan that, and now I just fixed my makeup.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Andy Reese. You can find me at Andy KTLA alongside.
My name is Samantha Cortese. You can find me on Instagram at KTLA Sam, and to my right.
I'm Bobby Gonzalez. You can follow me on Instagram at Sounds Like Bobby, and completing the square to my right.
What's up, people? How you doing? Robert Puente, Just Rob 101 on Instagram. Thank you for joining our show. You know what, Sam? I think, how about instead of being, whatever, cremated, buried, I would like to be taxidermied. So my family can remember me
How
for the
far
rest of
away
my
do you
life.
think we are from that?
For the rest of their lives. Not my life.
I actually like it.
Give me about 40 minutes and some formaldehyde, and I'll take care of Robert real quick.
I hope it never happens, but if it does, I'd like to have you in the house.
Oh, fun. Okay.
I wouldn't mind.
We'd put you in that Museum of Science or Body Museum.
Oh my God,
Museum?
bodies.
Bodies.
They'd be, and this is a hernia.
Oh,
God. Lots of those bodies come from questionable places.
that's true.
That's all I have to say.
I
Yeah.
That
know.
little controversy.
Like an airplane bathroom.
Yes. Where apparently there's a study out right now that's saying there's lots of bad stuff happening in that restroom in there, guys.
Why shouldn't you wash your hands on an airplane? It feels like you should be going there and washing your hands as much as possible, touching all that nastiness and using hand sanitizer, which I guess only works 70% of the time, according to some studies. Why not on the airplane?
Apparently, according to Travel and Leisure magazine, they have a new fear to flying here. It's not just altitude anymore, but apparently it's the sink in there. One flight attendant apparently
Sink rate.
yeah, I guess so, right? One flight attendant and travel blogger says, beware of bathrooms. Maybe not for what you might be thinking.
Just tell us why,
Robert,
please.
can you please?
She says, wow. Okay, let me get back to this. She says, while toilets are regularly cleaned, the rocks and doors and handles are not. Don't wash your hands by touching the handle. Instead, bring your own hand sanitizer or wipes.
Great.
So the question is, how about washing your whole face? I tend to do a little tidy after like a 24-hour flight. You want to
You freshen up in the airplane.
Yeah, in an airplane.
Not
Wash your
at the
face
airport when
in
you
the
get
bathroom.
there.
I don't. It's a 25-hour flight, guys.
Yeah.
It's a long flight.
Where are you going to the moon?
These flights need to be sped up, maybe like a jet plane.
Wait, Bob, what were you thinking?
I was just thinking the study was kind of whack. Like
It wasn't a study. He said it was a study.
It was a
no
blogger
study.
or
it was a
or
flight
a
attendant. Said all of the surfaces in the plane are cleaned, like the toilet and stuff like that, but they don't really clean the latches very much. They don't clean the sink.
Do people
handles.
not do the old thing where you like wash your hands and then you use a paper
I
towel
always
to
do.
open the door?
I
That's
always
how
do
I
this
all the time.
Another thing in this, which is crazy, is that the ice might not be clean.
I've heard this.
A
I
study-
always ask for the full can of water.
Yeah,
and I'm
so-
sorry that makes me annoying. I don't care.
They
I don't want your
sampled-
feces ice.
A study in 2017 found more than
VC
50
ice
different strains
available
of
in a
VC
vending
ice.
machine near you from the Coca-Cola company.
Wait, so
VC
I'm sorry, I
ice.
don't mean to disparage the Coca-Cola company.
We're happy if you want to.
Feces
We'll
ice.
hawk your feces ice
Wait,
if you want.
So if I'm asking for ice, I shouldn't because there might be some terrible, nasty stuff in there.
Yeah, 60 ice cubes were tested
Only
that
60.
are made for planes. Yeah, 60 cubes and 50%. I'm sorry, I'm pulling a Robert. A consistent percentage of them had 50 different strains of bacteria.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Is
Yeah,
that what that is?
gross.
I mean, honestly, this is just preparing you for visiting a new country because you're
Yeah.
going to be exposed to a bunch
That's
of
a
new
good-
bacteria.
well,
like,
Montezuma's
different stuff.
revenge.
Yeah. So,
Hold on,
For
real
people
quick.
who get sick on airplanes, I think there's a lot of reasons why. Another call.
A couple years ago, I was with my boyfriend at the time, and we were trying to do a summer trip to see both of our families. So we were going from Chicago to DC, and we had a big dinner out with his family the night before, pretty hungover, and we had like a 6 a.m. flight the next morning. And I was hungover and annoyed and didn't want to eat anything before we left. So we got to the airport and I went over to the Starbucks at Chicago O'Hare to get food and water for us to sustain us and caffeine. And it was a really long line and I started feeling kind of dizzy.
Oh no.
And I was annoyed that everybody was in front of me. And the next thing I knew, I woke up to a crowd of people standing over me, freaking out. I had completely collapsed and hit the back of my head in the Starbucks line at O'Hare. And they had to evac me out of there. There was like secret passageways that they took me on a stretcher down to the tarmac where an ambulance came and picked me up and took me to the ER. And
So
I
you
had
missed your flight.
fallen so hard that my brain had hit my eye from the inside. So I had like an internal black eye from fainting at the Starbucks line at Chicago O'Hare. That's my worst travel story.
Well, fortunately, we know somebody that could freeze dry you, and in case anything worse were to happen.
Can always call me again.
That way, you could still make it to your boyfriend's family.
Oh my goodness!
reunion.
All right,
That
well,
sounded horrific.
that's some crazy travel stories.
I'd just be missed. I pissed my
Yeah.
pissed. I missed my.
You pissed
We
your
have to go. We have a mug after
We'll
the
be
break.
right
We
back.
have a mug. I saw.
Oh no, it's our bosses now. That's right. Thanks, Sam. Welcome back to the show. It's true. Quality does make the difference at KTLA.
It sure does, and that's why you're getting a mug. Woo! Use the code word quality to 515151 or enter at ktla.com/contest for your chance to win. Bobby, what do they win?
They're going to win this bona fide, brand new, genuine KTLA 5 Morning News mug. Morning utility gear. Don't leave home without it.
Yeah, and if you do, we'll find you.
Yeah, we'll follow you.
We will make sure we'll bring you another one.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that code word is quality, and this code word will be good until June 2nd. So if you're watching this after June 2nd, that code don't work no more, but we will have a new code for you on our next episode.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Do It Live. Once again, please find us on Instagram, doitlive.show.
On behalf of all of us here and your Atlanta-based flight crew,
We are now descending?
we've been descending for quite some time.
So
See you
much
next
so
time.
we didn't make it. And then, hey, we're back in the air.